Hello, I've just released a single called Sons of Riches, and I thought I'd come on here and do a little explanation video on the process I took on writing this piece of music. So first of all, I just sort of came up with these chords in the piano, these two, and then wrote the lyrics for like the first verse. And then that was sort of a late night, and then the day after I recorded these. But before doing that, I came up with a intro piano idea, which is this. So I just recorded that in, and then from that I just did 4 different acoustic tracks, which are all just improvised, one take just through the intro, to make this. So it's just using a bunch of random different notes in the key, which is G major. But it actually works quite well with everything else. This is piano and bass as well. So after I created that little intro, I added the synth parts. So I've got this one synth. That's a sort of airy part. And it mostly just does that. And then I've got that other one that comes in doing like this little so it just adds a bit of atmosphere to the piece. Sort of in the background, adds quite a nice texture. And then recorded the vocals for this first verse, which sound like this. Last time you stepped in. That's enough of that. But after this sort of came to this line, rising cranes in cellophane and teach the kids to say their name, in which I wanted some harmonies. So this is what the harmonies isolated sounds like. God was meant to destroy rising cranes and cellophane, won't teach the kids to say their name. Oh. But yeah, that was that line. That was sort of a line I wanted to emphasize. So I basically just got up to this point, got to around a minute 30, minute 45, to the end of the first verse up to the chorus, and then worked horizontally, creating the rest of the tracks in that little section. Then I came to the chorus, in which I added this new synth part, which sounds like this. It just sort of does random stuff. My favourite part is at the end of the chorus, where it does this. I just think that's fun. So added that synth part. It just does lots of wavy stuff around the chorus, and I've got this arpeggiated piano that comes in towards the pre-chorus, I guess. Which you can't really hear in the mix that much. It's sort of right at the top. It's a little bit sort of faint in the distance, which is quite nice. But I've got sort of bigger swells and chords in this synth. Sort of mirroring the piano chords. and then just got the acoustic guitar playing through the same chords. And then last but not least, you've got the bass. It's just sort of solid lines. And then I double tracked the vocals for the chorus. So
it won't fix your heart.
It's got one. The lead vocal is slight to the right, and then the secondary vocal is a bit to the left. And that was pretty much the chorus. And I've got this line that finishes off the chorus that says, so please let the ocean wash us away. It's basically about how humans cause more harm than good to the environment and to our planet, and that all in all it would be better without us. So I wanted these little piano figures, so these twinkly bits, they're a bit like waves washing over, which sound like this. Sort of quite gentle. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different twinkly bits going back and forth, and one of them is a reverb, reverse track, sorry. Just like that. And yeah, that was the end of the first half. And then with the second half, I wanted to have the verse quite different to the instrumentation of the first one. So, first of all, I have harmonies, which I didn't really have in the first verse until the end, which sound like this.
Accidents kill, but we built the accidents.
Originally, when I had this, I wanted all the vocals to be dry, but the vocals didn't really sit that well. These harmonies in the mix, when they were dry, it sounded sort of too bare. So I added some reverb to these, which is sort of a spacey thing that you can hear. And then bass is just playing simple, quite low notes, outlining the chords. And then we have the main sort of rhythm instrument is the guitar in this verse, which wasn't the case for the first verse, but it sounds like this. And this acoustic guitar is double tracked, hard left and right. And then to tie the second verse into the chorus, the second chorus, I have this little instrumental section, which has material from the first sort of pre-chorus. And then this is where the string section comes in, which sounds like this. I should say that this string section comprises of first violin, second violin, third, fourth, fifth, and then viola, 2 cellos, and a contrabass, which all in all is 9, I believe. And then that sort of ties off this chorus, has the same vocal melody and lyrics as the first, and then I have the synths come back in the tail end of the chorus. And then let's have the acoustic guitars doing the same improvised takes. So again, there's 4 tracks, just doing random things, which all in all, with everything else, sounds quite nice. skip to the end, we have this nice chord from the orchestra. It's a nice little chord. I added an alto and baritone sax, a flute and oboe, and piccolo, and a tenor saxophone, and more cellos into that chord at the end. But I kind of like that little chord at the end, even though a lot of those instruments hadn't appeared already in the track. It's quite nice. And yeah, that is Sons of Riches, available on all streaming platforms.